Well, I received a really lovely little set of comments here under one of my videos. I'm just going to read the comments. There's two of them by the same person who is, he calls himself Youreconfused. Apparently he's not. I'm assuming it's a he by the style of writing, but I could be wrong. He writes, "Could someone explain to me how nothing created everything, as atheists hold so dearly? Everything had a beginning, so where did the materials in the very beginning come from? Or do you all not put that much thought into your beginning?" Atheists equal belief that there was nothing and nothing happened to nothing and then nothing magically exploded for no reason, creating everything, and then a bunch of everything magically rearranged itself for no reason whatsoever into self-replicating bits, which then turned into dinosaurs. This is what this guy writes. This is his first comment. Dude, you know clearly zero about science. Like so many other Christians I've had to run across, you take science, the little pathetic amount that you have heard about, and you state it in the most absurd, ridiculous way possible to make it sound stupid. Okay, let's dissect your comment. Could someone explain to me how nothing created everything, as atheists hold so dearly? Everything had a beginning, so where did the materials in the very beginning come from? Can you answer that, Christian? Where did the materials at the very beginning come from? You're going to say, ooh, God created it. What did he create it? What did he create it from? And who created God? Everything has to have a beginning. When was God's beginning, and who created God? And what materials went into creating God? And when God created shit, where did he get the materials from? What is any more ridiculous than of what I think that nature created everything, and that materials recycle themselves, and universes are born, live, and die, and the materials from the previous universes create new universes over time, whatever. What is any more ridiculous about my idea of how things began than your idea that some daddy in the sky who just magically exploded into existence because he didn't need a creator, so he just magically appeared one day, created everything from nothing, because where did he get the materials from? Where did he get the materials from? You know? And you don't even hold to the idea that things over time evolve into other things. You know, species change through the course of time as their environments change to adapt to different environments. You don't hold to that. You just think that God formed things out of the dirt. And where did the dirt come from? And somehow that makes more sense to you. His second comment. I do, however, love the fact that in her videos, that would be me, she's constantly asking for evidence. Yeah, I am. And yet, her religion of atheism offers none. What do we need evidence for? Please answer me this. What do we need evidence for? We don't have, it's not, first of all, a religion. We don't make a super, whatever, extraordinary claim, do we? We don't claim anything. We don't believe that gods exist. That's not a supernatural claim. That's not an extraordinary claim. We're claiming that we don't believe your extraordinary claim. Your job is to convince us that this claim of yours is true by producing evidence to support your claim. We're not making a claim. Atheism, if you would look the fucking word up in the fucking dictionary, I am so sick of people like this. You know what? You don't even want to know anything real. You don't want to know true things. You just want to think what you think and say stupid things on YouTube about it. If you would look in the dictionary and you would look up the word atheist, you would understand that atheism is simply somebody who cannot believe in gods because there's nothing to show one exists. There's no evidence. Yes, we are constantly talking about evidence because we would like to see some evidence for this thing that we are constantly having shoved in our faces all the time. We're supposed to come up with evidence? For what? We already have evidence for what science claims, but atheism is not science. Atheists are not evolutionists or cosmologists. We're nothing except people that do not believe in gods, because there's nothing to show that a God exists. If you would kindly present your proof and evidence, maybe we wouldn't be atheists anymore. But where is your proof and your evidence? This leads to the assumption, it's an assumption, that it's not about her belief in God as it is her idea that her sins are perfectly okay. I have never said a single time in any of my videos ever that, first of all, I don't think there is such a thing as sin. Sin is a man-made invention to make your fucking religion seem necessary. I believe that there's such a thing as doing right or doing wrong. And I don't think it's okay to do wrong. I have never said that ever. I do not think it's okay to do bad things or to be evil or to commit harms against other people. I think it's very wrong to do these things. I don't think it's right. How dare you? You don't even know me. So she doesn't answer to God. I don't need to answer to anybody except my own conscience. I am accountable for my mistakes and for my actions. And if I do something to wrong somebody else, I suffer the consequences, or I apologize to that person that I have wronged. I don't need to have some stupid super daddy imaginary friend in the sky to keep me in line. You know, the threat of being punished one day in hell, so, ooh, I better be a good person. I don't need that to be a good person. I'm a good person because I want to be a good person. That's exactly why atheists continue holding the belief in nothing. You know why we continue holding the belief in nothing? Actually, let me go back. We actually don't not believe in things. We believe in a lot of things. You say holding the belief in nothing. We do not believe in nothing. We believe in a whole lot of things. The only thing we do not believe in is your God. We do not believe in gods. That is the only thing. Everything else that you believe in, very likely atheists believe in those things. But we don't believe in God. So don't say that we don't believe in nothing. That is wrong. The reason that we continue to not believe in gods is because you continue to be inadequate at proving that there are gods or a god. Or if there is a god, you don't prove that it's your God. How do we know it isn't some other god? There's only been a couple 100,000 gods. Okay, that's probably an exaggeration. But there's been a lot of gods. There's been thousands of gods since the start of human civilization. Prove it's your God. Once you've proven that a God exists, which you've not done, and you don't even try to do, once you prove a God exists, then prove it's your God, so that we know that jumping through your hoops, as opposed to hoops that some other religion teaches, will get us to this wonderful place that you claim exists, that I'm sorry, there's no evidence for that either. Okay, so this is exactly why atheists continue holding the belief in nothing. which is bullshit. We do believe in things. But, actually, sorry, I have to... Oh, BC. I guess that's supposed to be because he's just a little too lazy to write the word. Because if they admit nothing cannot create everything, except that's, look at my last video. I just got done saying, you're the one that's claiming that. You're the one that's saying that nothing just suddenly created something and that something was God. And then that God created all this stuff from nothing. You're the ones that make the claim. There's no science that I know of that makes that claim. There's no atheist that I know of that makes the claim that something comes from nothing. It is only Christianity that makes that claim. And I really get tired of Christians turning that around and saying to atheists that we believe something that they believe in. Christians think that something comes from nothing. They think that explains God. He just suddenly, well, he didn't even suddenly appear. He just always was there. And what did God create? What did he use to create everything? Oh, well, he just magically made everything appear. He just magically created the dirt because there was no dirt, and then God just magically made it all happen. What's the difference between saying that and saying that the universe came from a big bang? There's no difference. I wasn't going to get angry, but this guy is so fucking condescending. Okay. So, they admit nothing cannot create everything, blah, blah, blah. Then there must be a God who did it. Really? So you think that just if on the chance that all the science that we have right now that points to the Big Bang, and evolution, you think that that if that's all wrong, then the only other possible answer is that there's a God? You don't think that there could be some other explanation? If one isn't right, then oops, that automatically makes your beliefs true, that there's a God? See? I don't think that just because, first of all, I think evolution is right. I think it's the closest thing to correct that we've come up with yet. I believe the Big Bang is also the closest thing that we've come up to yet, as far as an explanation for things that we didn't actually see for ourselves, but we can only look at evidence and what we see around us, in space, happening to other places. Okay, so where was I? I'm going to read this all the way through because the second comment is so disjointed because I keep commenting. I keep breaking this up. Here's what his second comment says without me interrupting. I do, however, love the fact that in her video she's constantly asking for evidence, and yet her religion of atheism offers none. This leads to the assumption that it's not about her belief in God as it is her idea that her sins are perfectly okay because she doesn't answer to God. That's exactly why atheists continue holding the belief in nothing. Because if they admit nothing cannot create everything, then there must be a God who did it. And if there's a God, I now have rules to follow and sin to answer for. So we just can't have that, can we? So I'll continue to believe in nothing. Makes perfect sense if I were 5, I suppose. You know what? I'm starting to think you might be. But she studies theology, right? LOL. Did I say I studied theology ever? I was a Christian. I suppose while I was a Christian, I suppose I was studying theology because Christians are theology. So for the 35 plus years that I was believing all this bullshit that Christianity teaches, I suppose you could say that I was studying theology. But I don't study theology. I studied the origins of Christianity and the origins of the Bible, and I figured out that it's utter and complete bullshit. I then went a little further and studied the Bible enough to realize that it's not just bullshit, it's an evil, poisonous belief system that I want nothing to do with. Your comments that I need to have a God to want to live a moral and upright life are absurd. I don't need your God to want to live a moral life. I don't need your God to not want to hurt somebody. I don't need your God to be a good person. Newsflash, I don't run around sinning. I don't sin. I don't believe in sin. I think sin is a man-made thing to make your crappy religion seem necessary. It's a thing that makes people afraid of death. Gee, that's just what I want. I want to live my life being afraid of something that I cannot stop from happening. You know what? I lost my fear of death the moment I stopped being a Christian, because I no longer think that there's some stupid, tyrannical, evil God in the sky monitoring my every thought. I think there's just this life, and what I do in this life, I am accountable for. And I try very hard to be a good person. And as for the other comment you made about my face, I deleted it because it was rude and cruel. I don't have pain on my face, but I did go through a time in my life where I had a lot of pain. And so if I seem like I have lines on my face that make me look like I've gone through a lot of pain, that's probably because I have. But you know what? Everybody gets lines on their faces when they're older. I am not in pain anymore. I'm actually happier now than I've ever been in my life. And the only time I'm not happy is when I'm angry. And the only time I'm angry is when I read shit like this by somebody who has zero clue about science and about what atheism is, or what atheists believe in or don't believe in, or this arrogant idea that you have to believe in your God to be a good person. And the only reason people don't believe in your God is because they want to run around and be bad people. I have a newsflash for you. I am not running around being a bad person. I am just as much the same as I was when I was a Christian. I am just as much a good person and a caring person as I was when I was a Christian. How dare you think that it's your religion that makes good people? Your religion doesn't have a monopoly on goodness and being a good person. Anyway, I'm really angry right now, and I'm just going to continue to rant and rant and rant if I don't shut this camera off. So that's my answer to "You're confused." Dear or sir or whatever the fuck you are, I'm sorry, but you're ignorant. Maybe you should change the name on your avatar. Which you don't even have a picture of yourself, by the way. Tells me you're a bit of a coward as well.